with me already this morning. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. This is Coffee Talk. And our subject this morning is about how does your garden grow? So I love this topic because at this time of year, I look at, try to look past the bleakness of my backyard and figure out how I can make the colors pop. And then also, I always take a stab at trying to grow something that I can eventually eat. I'm not always that successful at it, so I'd love to hear how you guys do. I am going to share my screen because I have this little blurb from the Mayo Clinic about how gardening is a stress reliever. So give me 1 second. I'm doing that now, so everybody don't panic as you see my screen pop up. But I thought I would share this with you this morning.
Go ahead, dig in. You may go from this to a bounty like this. Mayo Clinic dietitian Anya Guy says tending a garden offers an abundance of health benefits.
You will increase your intake of fruits and vegetables, ultimately because you have them right in your backyard.
Gardening can also help reduce stress and anxiety levels and offer light physical activity. Wondering what to grow? Consider a rainbow variety.
Different vegetables have a variety of different health benefits.
These chili peppers and banana peppers, for instance, contain capsaicin, which has been shown to have a number of health benefits. And then there's this hearty vegetable.
Eggplant actually grows surprisingly well in a home garden. It's easy to grow and it can feed a lot of people in the family.
Rich in antioxidants, tomatoes contain potassium, vitamin C, and are a source of fiber. By embracing your green thumb, you may be able to unpack your vegetable basket instead of a grocery bag. For the Mayo Clinic News Network, I'm Vivian Williams.
So I was picking up on that, how, it's good to make your own. I got to stop that. Sorry. And then Marjorie, after your comment yesterday, I wanted to share this a little bit, just so you know, we can talk about this too.
We used to think that plants belong in the garden, out in the sun, away from our homes and offices where we live and work. This isn't the case anymore today. Having indoor plants is the simplest way to bring nature to your household. It doesn't matter if you work at the top of a skyscraper or you live in an apartment. You can grow your own garden indoors by putting plants in pots, boxes, or hanging containers. Here are 5 amazing reasons to have indoor plants. 1. They help purify air. Houseplants make the best natural air purifiers. They have the ability to cleanse the air from toxic chemicals, such as formaldehyde and benzene, which are usually found in paint, cigarettes, vinyl, and solvents. Plants can also raise the air's humidity by releasing water and moisture vapor. This can protect us from getting respiratory problems, dry coughs, and sore throat.
So I thought that would be I wanted to make sure you heard that, but I can send that link to you if you want to hear the rest. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to hear from all of you or whoever wants to share as to what gardening means to them. Because this is not all about me. I just want to hear what you guys do in the summertime and which, is an indoor garden, an outdoor garden? Is it a flower garden? Is it a vegetable garden? Is it no garden and you don't know how to start? And then maybe that's a second coffee talk about how to start. So who would like to talk a little bit about their garden? Marjorie does. Go ahead. I had no doubt.
Well, we tried, I live up by West Point. So I come to Molloy because my mother's name was Molly. She passed away. I got a phone call and I thought she was talking to me from beyond. My husband didn't think so because it's far away. And he didn't think that she wanted me to drive that far, that great a distance. But I explained to him that she wanted him to drive. So, so he's been driving me. Anyway, yeah, I was raised with my father gardening the entire end of the street, and my finger was just the right size for punching the hole to put the seeds in. So, and then we harvested the crop at the end of the summer, and my dad would have huge corn roasts for everybody in the neighborhood. I loved it. So growing up, and when I became an adult and we wound up living in a rural area, we planted a garden. And then we discovered that there were a lot of sort of things called earwigs, other little creatures that wanted to eat my garden. So I never made it to the corn roast, and not being successful year after year. My gosh, I never knew watermelons could have that many seeds in them. That there were more seeds than there was watermelon. We moved to indoor gardening. So I have about, I'd say, 40 some odd plants. I know in the family room I have 38 plants, and right here, if you move, I can take a picture of that in a moment. But there's a picture of an orchid.
Oh, your beautiful orchid. Very
just
pretty.
came into bloom, and
they have about a half a dozen different kinds.
yeah, there's another one like that. And then wait. This is just my orchid section. I don't know if you can see that they're pink and they're different colors.
The purple is beautiful.
Yeah. And
Now,
then this is kind of what they look like. And then, is there any way we can take the computer over and they could just see it?
So
Right. Clearly George is making breakfast. And so this, I guess, is going to be, yeah, at some future point we can do that. But honey, if you just move to the left, I'll get a picture of that. George, woo, to the left. Honey,
Marjorie.
They've seen enough.
Okay.
Marjorie, Kimberly.
This is my kitchen.
Okay. Kimberly's actually asking, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And I won't show you the rest of the 38 plants in the family room, but I just love it. I love them coming into bloom. And I did not know that part about the air quality. And the reason I find that interesting, and I'm wondering if this is it, is I'm asthmatic. And I have not had asthma since we started the garden.
Well, there you go. See,
Yeah.
Is that possible? Does that make any sense to anybody?
Yeah.
I think it does make sense. I think it does clean our air out. I have a lot of plants by virtue of, you know, children bringing things in and leaving them here after they've moved out again.
Yeah.
So I tend to have a house plant garden, not necessarily of my own making, but
Yeah.
I do find that mine, they tend to thrive on neglect.
On neglect?
On neglect, because I don't spend a lot of time with them, but they keep growing. I don't know why.
Oh,
Um,
I'm like protective of my plants.
and then, so that the question to you, and Kimberly had asked this too, you know, I have this beautiful orchid I showed you yesterday. You have a garden of orchids. Orchids are not easy to grow. To get them to grow again almost seems impossible. This one here, I don't touch, I barely water, and it comes back every year.
Yeah.
So, you know, what do you feed your orchids? Do you have a special, you know, do you take their temperature? I mean, you have a beautiful array there. Marjorie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's location, it has to do with the location. I thought you were asking Kimberly.
No, Kimberly's asking you.
Oh, okay. So it has to do with the location, the amount of light. We have a northern exposure for our orchids, and they're just like a whole bunch of them that are in bloom in different colors. And a droplet of water. We just give them an ice cube or two of water.
Yep, I've heard about the ice
Yes,
cube.
an ice cube. Whoever heard of that? All right, so George heard of it. I'm not going to take credit.
All right, anybody else? Do I have other
How could a
gardeners?
boy from the Bronx possibly know about raising orchids? I just,
Well, he
five
did a good
reasons,
job, so thank you, George.
but he has done a good job. And I love them. I think they're beautiful. That that variegated one that's in yellow and orange, like spiders all over it. And I mean, veins all over it. Amazing to me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Does anybody else do gardening outside, indoors?
I do outside. I've been looking over to what comes up every year, peppermint or spearmint, I don't know what you call it. And I put fennel in.
Fennel.
I get that much, but that comes up every year. And what else do I, oh, and I bought a strawberry plant for my 2-year-old granddaughter, And we probably would have about 10 or 12 strawberries, but she barely could wait to eat them. And that came back. That's back.
So that comes back every year?
Yes, well, mine is in a pot. So I don't know if it's in the ground, but
Hold on one second, Marjorie. I got to unmute you. There you go. All right, better. There was some background noise. I don't know what that is,
oh,
but it's not you. I've muted everybody as far as I can tell, but maybe not.
it comes back. The strawberry is in a big pot outside.
Yep.
Kind of for the winter, it's kind of in a protected area, against the foundation. So maybe that helped. And it gets mostly east-south sun. during the
Okay.
day.
Yeah, I've never tried to put berries in. I know that some people do have good luck with berries. Berries is that they have a special pot I've seen for berries where berries can grow out of different holes in the pot.
I've seen that. Yeah.
No, right now I have put in tomatoes. I started them from seeds in the house and I just put them outside once they said that the weather was going to get better. And then we put some cucumbers in. We'll see how that goes. I do pretty good with tomatoes, but whenever we've tried to do squash or anything, they start growing and I've got these big, beautiful leaves and it looks great. And then overnight something gets them and they curl up and they die. And that consistently happens every single year. So I mostly just go out and try to buy a variety of different colors of flowers for pots because I love to look at the different colors during the summer. I also try to figure out what grows at different times. I've always wanted to put in a perennial garden, but I've never really, my house faces north. I don't get great sun. So the perennial garden is difficult when that happens.
You got to put plants in that need shade, like hostas and astilbas and things.
And those I have, yeah.
You do,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, Kim, I had nothing to do with it when we moved here almost 40 years ago. The people before us had put hostas all around the backyard. So those do come up every year. And sometimes if you don't tend those,
They're
they
huge.
become balloon, they just take over everything.
They do. You could do
Does everybody know
ferns
what
too.
hostas are? They're those big leaves and then they get purple stems that grow in July or so.
Yeah.
They're very expensive. If you look at Hicks, my husband thought they were weeds till I took him into Hicks. See the price on those? Oh,
You got to get them from your relatives. That's what we do.
Right.
Like my mother-in-law, my
Yeah, because you can split them. So
yeah,
if anybody wants hostas, you can come to my backyard and dig them up because some
me
of them,
too.
I've been taking pictures of some of them. They are just like monstrous
Everywhere.
everywhere.
And daylilies too. My
Right.
daylilies just keep multiplying.
Oh, those I don't have. Yeah, somebody said the black-eyed Susan are like that too, where they
Yes,
just
they
go
are.
and go and go.
They can be.
Yeah, and then Marjorie, you're on mute. You can unmute yourself if you want to.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I wanted to mention that if you have deer,
Yeah.
they will eat hosta plants. The
Really?
deer will eat everything except daffodils. They have no regard for anything. They are lovely. You could throw them bread if you wanted to, but they're going to eat your plants anyway. It's just how it is. Yeah. I
Yeah.
went out and bought hosta plants. They were on sale. Oh my gosh. We just planted a whole perimeter, and the next morning they were chewed down to the nub.
Wow.
So forget about saving money on the great deal it was. They were gone. And they didn't come back.
Well, squirrels eat the tops of your tulip bulbs.
I did
Squirrels,
not know that.
squirrels eat the flowers of the tulips. I came out one day when I had tulips all around the rim outside, and everyone had been plucked by the squirrels. Ate everyone.
What about tiger lilies? Do they eat the tops of those?
Not that I
No,
know
that
of.
must have been the deer also.
Yeah, that must have been the deer. Yes.
And they wait right until they come into bloom.
Right. I'm in Baldwin. There's no deer.
Oh,
On Long Island,
we've got about 48 in the backyard.
Wow.
And then we have turkeys, wild turkeys. Have you ever seen a wild turkey?
I have. They're very.
Yeah, they're big and right
Mhm.
now they're fluffing their feathers and everything, and the hen turkeys are around ignoring them.
do they eat your garden
But
as
they
well?
fluff anyway, so.
They
That's
look
a
very
great-
different than the turkeys you see on
They
TV.
do. We got some great pictures of them.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, so that's, I wanted to share gardening today. Gardening it can be a stress reliever. I have looked up some great articles that, you know, just toiling in the field, getting down on your hands and knees and digging in the dirt for just a little bit is good exercise. It relieves some stress. It gives you some endorphins that make you feel a little happier. So I would recommend that as you are in the house and working from home and you need to take an additional break in the afternoon after our coffee break today, that you might think about putting something in a pot. And again, an easy one in a pot is cherry tomatoes. Put the cherry tomatoes in, get a cherry tomato plant, put it in a pot right wherever it can get a little sun, and you will have a few cherry tomatoes to eat by the end of August. So that is our show today. It's so good to see you. We do not have a program on tomorrow and Thursday because I have meetings that are conflicting, but we'll be back on Friday to talk about how the rest of our week has gone. All right. So thank you all for joining me, and you have a wonderful day. All right.
Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Kathy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.